Captain's log, stardate 8397.8. The Argo is on course to rendezvous with the Green Star Sisters vessel in order to transfer Eshko, after which we will resume our patrol duties in the Trillius and Regulon sectors. I've informed Starfleet Command and the Federation Science Council of the ruins we discovered on Argus 10, as well as the potential danger they represent. As for Cybok, frankly, I'm glad to see the last of him. His quest for this Shakari seems to have become an obsession, one that, combined with his strange mental abilities, makes him oblivious to the pain and trauma he inflicts on those who get close to him, Eshko included. Still, my experience on Argus 10 and beyond have given me something of a new perspective and restored my memories of my time in the Paradise Falls simulation, giving me at least some idea of what Wolfgang is going through when it comes to parallel memories at the same time period. Cybok speaks a great deal about fate and destiny, but I can't reconcile such concepts with a reality where time itself is mutable. Although she hasn't broached the subject with me, I think Lieutenant Commander Lazos may be having her own existential struggle with what she saw when she looked at the statue of Stella. My chief engineer is quieter lately and more thoughtful. Meanwhile, my former engineer, Lieutenant Commander Martell, is proving to be an excellent first officer, adroitly handling several delicate situations while I was recovering in sickbay. I've put in a request with Starfleet Command to expedite his promotion to full commander if possible. Hopefully, the somewhat prickly relationship I seem to have with the Sector Admiral won't put a crimp in those plans. In any event, Lieutenant Commander Martell has come a long way from that ferocious, short-tempered engineer who once terrified young officers, and it's been a pleasure to watch him grow as an officer. End log.
We start the scene off on the bridge. Actually, more or less the conference room where the captain and two of the senior officers, along with Esco, their guests, are having dinner.
So we should have you back amongst the Green Star Sisters organization for too long, Eshko.
No need to rush, Captain, as she's taking a bite of her dish.
Well, it's certainly been a strange few days.
Indeed, it has.
Commander Lazos, you were saying we needed to do a test run on the way back at maximum warp to test out your theories on the new coding?
Yes, we'll need to first try to approach the recommended safety limits, and if everything is operating as expected, we should push past the limit by an hour or two, depending on how the situation develops.
Excellent. The captain looks back at Eshko. That may mean at some point during the voyage home we'll be experiencing perhaps some turbulence is the best word. Please keep an ear open for alerts and recommendations to secure loose items. Lady Eshko, I wouldn't want anything flying about your cabin suddenly, although hopefully Lieutenant Commander Lazos will provide us with a nice, smooth ride.
Very well. I'm quite surprised at the design of this ship. Seems quite advanced compared to the older constitutions.
Well, we are sort of the latest and greatest Starfleet design. The Argo is the first operational vessel of her class, although the newly upgraded constitutions are not too dissimilar. But the Argo is something special, and her class, the Excelsior, is a new design philosophy, much more modular than previous vessels, which theoretically should allow for a much longer useful service life.
I assume it won't be long before the all the sectors within Federation space are filled with these vessels.
Well, before it's more likely that by the time we work out the issues and the growing pains with this vessel, Utopia Planitia will have something better and greater for us to fix while we retire all of these more senior vessels.
I personally think that what you're going to see more of than the other ship is the Mirandas. Those are already turning into the workhorses.
I see.
Both vessels and both types of vessels seem to be fitting into their roles very well. But I would like to see someday us start building ships on a more grandiose scale.
Haggard kind of chuckles. Well, you have to admit, and he kind of looks around at the spacious conference room / dining room. The Excelsior class is not exactly a shuttlecraft.
No, but the NX class and the Constitution class were both giant leaps forward. Our giant leap forward was supposed to be a ship with transwarp drive, and now that's failed. Our ship is an improvement over the Constitutions, but not in a great way. Not in the way that the NX was over the Dallas classes. I would like to see the next ship be one that's a comparable upgrade. Something that's beyond what we're working on right now.
Well, you may have to wait a bit for that, Commander.
She'll just shrug.
Still, great leap forward or not, I do think the modular design will allow the Excelsior classes to keep up with latest developments. That was one of the bigger problems with the older style vessels. In order to do a refit or an upgrade, you had to tear it down sometimes to the bare scaffolding and rebuild. With the Excelsior class, theoretically anyway, it should be more of a plug and play operation. But the Constitutions still have plenty of service life left in them, especially after their latest refits. And then, of course, there's the new Is the new one the Constellation 2 or the Constitution? The quad engine. Stargazer class.
Constellation, and then you also have the Centaur class too.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought the Constellation had a little bit of time to go.
That launched in the same year as the Excelsiors. So with Captain Owens as Jaeger, the Argo here, the Regulon and Trillius sectors have 2 of Starfleet's latest on patrol. And I wouldn't discount Captain Mitsugi Ray or the Akagi either. Tell me, Eshko, have you had much dealings or your people had much dealings with these Cardassians we've run into lately?
They they prefer to avoid us.
Well, I would think it'd be the other way around. From my run-ins with them, I think I'd prefer to avoid them.
They prefer secrecy. Frankly, most of their trade dealings have been in areas where my sister is not keen on dealing with.
They seem a belligerent bunch, at least the military does. And unfortunately, I don't think we've seen the last of them. So you're awfully quiet this evening, Mr. Martell.
Oh, just enjoying this salad, sir.
I'm always amazed that Chef manages to get fresh produce and keep it fresh.
Agreed. You know how hard it is to find cucumber out this far?
Well,
He's got to have some.
Go ahead.
He's got to have some type of. Oh, I forget what the technical term for them in agricultural area. He's got to have some type of that around here somewhere.
Well, there you go, Commander Lazos. That's one great leap ahead for the Argo. Our horticultural section is much larger than any previous starship. I wouldn't be surprised if Chef has a cucumber patch somewhere in there.
It's quite amazing that we've re-arrived at an agricultural revolution on a starship. Not exactly what I had in mind, sir, but I'll take it.
Man does not live on fast ships and strange worlds alone, Commander. Sometimes you just need a good fresh cucumber. Crunch, crunch, crunch. So GM, do we know roughly how long we have until we rendezvous with the Green Star sister ship?
10 days.
Okay.
Like, this is like a day and a half later, really.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So what are your plans for you when you get back, Eshko?
Probably after I receive, how should I say, discussions with my sisters remains to be seen.
Well, don't let them get to you too much. Everyone at this table has been chewed out pretty thoroughly more than once.
When one of the founders of organizations such as ours goes missing for several weeks, it looks very poorly, especially upon myself.
Well, I have no doubt that you will sail through those rough seas with little trouble, Lady Eshko. And who knows what opportunities may present themselves.
I'll jump up and hit the comm panel on the door. Oh wait, we have do we have badges or do we still have flip phones? I
You
keep
still have
forgetting.
flip
Flip
phones.
phones.
Okay, then yeah, I'll stand up and hit the panel on the wall and say, report.
All senior staff to the bridge. All senior staff to the bridge.
Excuse me, Lady Eshko. And that's where Haggard will head.
Martell will put his fork down on his plate and go, Esco, head to the bridge.
Sound effects, you're fancy.
I'm actually eating a salad right now, too.
Nice.
So just to clarify, was that yellow or red alert? Because I was assuming that was red.
It was
Yeah.
a sound for a red alert. Trey might jump the gun a little bit, maybe. Captain, we've picked up an unidentified vessel on an intercept course.
I see. Hostile intent?
Unknown.
All right. Ensign Breton, can you get me any more information on the incoming vessel? Or Mr. Chitre, now that he's gone back to science.
Brenton's still doing the skating while Trey's like just sort of like, you're in my seat. Captain, it appears that I'm not able to scan the vessel's interior. It is definitely of unknown configuration. Oh, sorry.
Time to intercept, Lieutenant Haran.
30 minutes.
Lieutenant Mira, let's see if we can't hail them.
Aye, sir. Control plus engineering, difficulty 0, assisted by the ship's communications plus engineering.
Somebody want to grab Mira, and I'll get the ship.
Oh, Mira's the communications officer. I thought it was Kamato. What does Kamato do?
Kamalo's my yeoman.
Oh, come on, that's an H, not a T. Yep, I have no idea where their sheet is. Oh, they're in the regular character section.
Mira and West are the two NPCs that are fully fledged out. They can never be upgraded or changed.
Oh, okay. Oh, Anders too.
Well, no, Anders started as a basic support. He's just been upgraded to the max.
Oh, they started out as full-fledged characters.
Yeah. And I think we have several supports who are fully upgraded. No, Shran is too.
Oh, I rolled with a focus without even looking to see if I had one. Subspace communications?
Yes.
Okay. Was that assisted?
Yeah, the ship.
Okay.
4 momentum gained.
That's my job now.
Communications open, Captain.
This is Captain Ulysses Haggard of the United Federation of Planets Starship Argo to the unknown vessel. You are on an intercept course with us. Please identify yourself and adjust your heading to avoid potential collision. Unidentified vessel. This is the USS Argo. Please respond. And I'll cut the comms. Lieutenant West, adjust our course. Let's not run into them if we can help it. Mr. Chitre, keep an eye, see what they do in response.
Control con difficulty of 1, since it is at warp. This is by the ship's engines plus con.
Somebody want to grab West?
Oh, you didn't buy anything. Untap potential. You're ahead.
Ah, but didn't buy it, yeah.
No, because she had cautious. We didn't have any momentum. Helm operations.
Yes.
What's the difficulty?
1.
I guess. Well, as the player who plays Lazos and is eternally in need of momentum, I can't bring myself to say we'll buy away the complication, but that's probably what we should do. I guess.
Yeah, Captain can say that.
Okay.
Let's not hamstring ourselves this early.
Yeah, so can the XO.
You alter course. Adjusting course and heading, Captain.
What are our friends doing, Mr. Chitre?
Captain, they've altered their heading. They are still on approach.
Can I scan them to see what type of ship it is?
The tray can. If you want, you have to do an override, which will increase the difficulty.
They said it was definitely an unknown design, but the scans couldn't penetrate the hull to get a look at the interior.
Yes.
I'll reopen the communications. Unknown vessel. This is the USS Argo. Please divert your course. Please respond. You are heading directly for us and have changed course again to intercept. I do not wish to treat you as a hostile vessel, but if you do not change your heading, I may have no choice. Please respond. All right, I'm assuming since Chitre declared red alert that we're running with shields up.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to head to engineering because it doesn't look like this could go. This is probably not going to go peaceful at this point.
All right. Are we running at our normal cruising speed?
Yes, Captain. Or factor 11.
Ah. All right. Let me pull up the right thing. I clicked when I should have clicked. All right, change course again. Now let's see if we can't avoid any kind of confrontation. Increase speed to warp 12.
Control plus con, difficulty of 1, assisted by the ship's engines plus con.
And that's on west.
Yes. Get a momentum out of it.
Mr. Chitray?
They appear to alter course, Captain, but they had to drop their speed a bit.
Well, so they are still trying for an intercept.
Yep.
Time to intercept, Lieutenant Huron.
We've gained a little ground on them, Captain, so we're looking at 35 minutes.
Captain,
Yes, number one?
if they lost speed, it could be their engines are overheating a little bit. They may be running hot trying to catch up with us.
Mira, open hailing again.
Hailing frequencies open.
This is the USS Argo to unknown vessel. We can outrun you. Don't overstress your engines. If you have something you need or want from us, answer this hail immediately. Otherwise, I will not hesitate to leave you in our dust. Please respond. Unknown vessel, please stop spinning threat. We'll get you nowhere. Crit success and very close to 2 crit fails.
Captain, they've increased their speed.
They look like their engines are holding up.
Here so.
Mr. Chitray, throw
That
up
was-
the. Oh, go ahead.
That was the tray,
What?
by the way. That was the
Yeah.
tray.
Yeah. Mr. Trey, pull up the image of the ship on the secondary on the life sciences panel. Miss Eshko, have you recognize the vessel type by any chance?
No, Captain. I've never seen it before.
It's worth a shot. All right, Lieutenant West. Lieutenant Ron, Lieutenant West, plot an evasive course. Full military speed, i.e. warp 12, warp 14.
Pedal to the metal. Got it.
Yep. It's like in the Navy, plank speed is maximum safe cruising speed, and full military speed is when you go as fast as the engines can.
This is gonna be a daring plus con, difficulty 2, assisted by the ship's engines plus con.
I know West has bold. You got her, Martell or Winchester?
Which one was that again?
West, daring con, difficulty 2. I know she has bold.
Helm. Yeah, and she's got helm ops.
Yep.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do one threat. Rerolling the 0. There you go.
And she has untapped potential, so you can...
Yep. Roll 1 challenge dice.
No big.
Engines con, though, for the ship.
Oh, yeah. Let me... So that... Ooh. One momentum gained. Let's go ahead and use the one we gained and one more to quash it.
Okay.
This is where you need the acceleration sound effect from the original series.
They continue to match. They're gaining speed on us, Captain.
What's their current warp factor?
14.5.
Good lord. ETA to intercept?
They've jumped, Captain. They're nearly on top of us. And on the view screen, you see just a triangular shaped like vessel. Not clear where it's from. It's just almost a basic like ship design.
Right.
You notice though as it gets closer that its scale nearly matches the Argos.
Emergency drop out of warp. Take us to impulse.
Just you say that a pulse of light emits from the vessel, striking the Argo. And as even you gave the order, the ship comes out of warp. You all feel the ship lunges. I'm not gonna make you a roll for this, but everyone definitely feels the
Right.
inertial dampers kick in, and Eshko kind of braces herself against the railing.
Right.
I'm gonna start trying to figure out what happened.
The Argo instantly loses 10 power,
What?
and a new scene. You go down 1 momentum.
Which means we gain it all back.
No.
So the scene changes, then we lose the power.
Yes.
West, 90 degrees to port. 180 degrees on the Z axis. Assume new heading. Engage at maximum warp.
Captain, the ship, I can't move it.
What?
Helm is non-responsive.
Haggard to Lazos. We've lost helm control up here.
Have we been able to look into anything, GM, or?
You're just starting to. So what do you want to look into?
Then I'll say to the captain, we're looking into it. I guess why we lost power.
Reason plus engineering, difficulty of 2. System of these ships, computers plus engineering.
APS power systems.
Sure.
Bebop threw up.
What was the ship's role?
Computers plus engineering.
Sorry, I'm AFK. My cat threw up and I'm cleaning it. Okay. Back. Haggard to auxiliary control. Do you have helm control?
Negative, Captain. Trey could do a reason plus science difficulty of 1 assisted by the ship's sensors plus science.
What does dedicated focus do again?
Doubles the crit range, I believe.
I didn't make it then. Go sensor science. So there's difficulty 1?
Yes.
Okay.
Captain, I'm detecting 4 satellite devices around the hull of the vessel. They appear to have some sort of tractor beam lock on us. And the ship appears to be stationary right above the Argo.
How close to the hull are these devices?
Just outside of our shield perimeter. Captain, we're being hailed.
Of course, now they want to talk. On screen.
It's on audio, sir.
Let's hear them.
This is Captain Tulik of the Supreme Aglek Union. You are trespassing in our space. We demand you pay reparations for trespassing. You will hand over any valuables that you possess, or we will destroy your vessel.
This is Captain Ulysses Haggard of the USS Argo. We were unaware that we were passing through your space. However, we are a exploration vessel. We have very few valuable items aboard.
Captain, give me insight command difficulty of 1.
I'll give you a bold for the...
Threat for the bold.
Yes, thank you. Any of my focuses apply?
No.
Okay.
Too much. You kind of realize that this is technically claimed Federation space that you're traveling through, and you've never really heard of whatever this group they call themselves.
Right.
Before.
I signal Mira to cut communications or to...
She mutes the comm channel.
Haggard to Lazarus, we've detected 4 satellite devices that appear to have us in a tractor beam that could potentially be the source of our power loss. And the unknown vessel is now demanding tribute from us. Can you get me any information on what the hell's happening?
They use a weapon similar to what we've seen with the Tholians, but Starfleet doesn't actually have a counter to that. I'll work on figuring out what we can do, but right now, we're stuck where we're at, sir.
Understood. Mr. Martell, what's the possibility about targeting and taking out those satellites with photon torpedoes?
Reason security.
Uh,
Reason security difficulty 2.
okay.
Because you're gonna have to analyze because the proximity and the.
And we have
Yeah.
3 momentum.
I'm gonna spend one of that. Hopefully this will work out. Yeah.
Ship assist.
I'll allow computers security.
No help.
Captain, I can't risk targeting those satellites without damaging the Argo with torpedoes.
How close to our hull are they?
You don't want to know.
Could we reach them through an EVA?
Yeah, we could. But that's technology probably that I don't know, and they would definitely see an EVA going forward.
Understood. Haggard to Lazos, how long until you can restore power? And where's the power drain coming from?
They're using a weapons array to fire on us, and that's what's dampening the power, not the tractor beam itself. And we're working on getting power back, but I'm sure they can keep draining it all day long. So we need another approach.
Understood. Mr. Martell, what do you think about targeting that weapons array and destroying it? You'll have to use photon torpedoes. We don't have the juice for phasers.
I know. The weapons array. I'm guessing that's going to require another reason security roll.
I will give this to you guys. Because of their configuration, a lot of your sensor readings are bouncing off from the vessel. You're not entirely too sure what it's even made of. By the way, you're not even sure where their weapons rate is at. or what accounts for weapons array.
So much for that idea. All right, people, I'm open to suggestions.
GM, I asked a question.
So I'll reframe this. From what you can tell, according to the ship sensors, the vessel is currently above you in close proximity. There's currently 4 satellites that appear to have some sort of tractor beam block on your vessel and is currently draining power from your ship.
The satellites are draining power.
Yes.
Well, we need to either disable those satellites or interfere with their ability to suck our power up. Talk to me, Lazos.
Yeah, like out of character, you'll have to hold on a second because like I'm having to think about it because like it's one of those times where all of our tools are not allowed to work, so we have to think of a new tool.
Ah, okay. All right then. Mira, reestablish communications. This is Captain Ulysses Haggard to, what did he say the name of this polity was, GM?
Supreme Agalic Union.
This is Captain Ulysses Haggard to representative of the Supreme Megalic Union. We are willing to meet your demands. However, we do not have any knowledge as to what sort of trade items and materials your culture considers valuable. I'm willing to come aboard with a list of what we have and negotiate terms for our release.
Your presence is not required to beam aboard. We will take gold plus platinum as for payment, or any other valuable or rare ores you may have.
As I said, we are an exploration vessel. We have no gold plus pressed platinum or any particularly valuable ores. We carry some duranium sheets for repairs, and that's about it. If you're looking for a valuable cargo, you're fishing in the wrong part of the galaxy.
What about your dilithium?
You mean the dilithium that you're currently draining of its power and capability? There's probably not enough here to interest you, and what's left has been you yourself have degraded. Seriously, you've caught a starving fish. However, I might know where more robust prey might be found.
Go on.
Well, that's something I'd need to discuss with you face to face. It's not something I could really put out there in an open channel or in front of all of my crew.
That is not possible. Perhaps you can talk to somewhere more private within your vessel. I am sure it is big enough.
And what assurances do I have that if I give you the information you seek, you will let us go and not leave us here crippled in deep space?
That would not be a fair exchange.
You will forgive me, Representative, but not all traders in the galaxy are known for fair exchanges. Not that I'm applying your polity to such an organization, but you might understand my trepidation.
So you mean to tell me that you wish to discuss things in private, yet you claim you hold no valuable materials on your vessel?
Nothing along the lines of gold pressed latinum, whatever that might be. And unfortunately, what trillium we did have to trade, we used up in recent weeks on earlier missions. As I said, you've caught us flying empty. I have information I could trade, but that's about it. And I'll signal to Mira to mute the call. I'll keep this Joker talking for as long as I want, as long as I can. I need you people working the problem, figuring out how we can get out of this mess. Something's fishy here. They have all the power, but they don't seem to know a thing about Starfleet or, our ships. They seem to genuinely think we should be having some sort of treasure cargo.
All right, to figure out a way out of this with the satellites, this is going to go into the scientific method.
Okay. Yeah,
That's why I was
my
giving you little. I was like, when you're messaging me, I'm like, okay. I was going to
Well-
type it out, then the captain kind of came on.
yeah, I was not looking for an engineering solution. That's why I was asking you. I was about to try some core maneuver stuff. Or I was going to suggest the captain try it.
Well, and yeah, I was just talking to try and keep him occupied and to fill up roleplay. So, scientific method, as I recall, even if you're not directly involved, you can at least help throw out ideas in the
Yes.
first part of it. Yeah.
So, which way do you wish to tackle this? Through which department?
Ugh. It seems to me this is going to be either engineering or science. We don't have the power to fire weapons. Martell says that we can't really go out and without being observed.
Well, I wouldn't think at it from that. I would think at it from like, we have no idea what the solution is, so it could be security. We don't have any more progress on it being a security problem than it being an engineering problem, or vice versa. So I wouldn't come at it like. I would think whether you wanted it to be like an engineered solution or security, or looking at a little bit more violent solution. I would think of it like that.
Well, Martell said that the satellites were very close to the hull, apparently close enough where we could get to them through an EVA, and way too close to use photon torpedoes.
Not to mention, because of how small they are, you're looking at shooting scale 1s. So that
Okay.
increases the difficulty on top of them being close range from long. So you're looking at like a difficulty 6 shot, just hit one of them.
Okay.
And then because of how close they are, with the added complication, whatever damage you deal to them, you get half.
So yeah, I'm not thinking a shipboard weapon solution is the way to go. If we could figure out.
I was kind of hoping there was some we could fake them out. Before we were going to start scientific method, I was kind of hoping we could try to basically just keep increasing power in the warp core and threaten them that we're going to keep going till our ship blows up, and if that takes them with us, then that does what that does, like a kind of a Corbinite maneuver. Like, you can sit here,
Right.
but we'll destroy ourselves trying to get rid of you. So have fun with that.
Right.
We can
But
also just go with
if they're-
trying to engineer it.
Yeah, if they're drawing power, though, I'm not sure we'll be able to really build up to a Kawami.
Oh no, the threat would be that we would destroy the ship trying.
Right. Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know if they're draining our power. They just took 10 power away like nothing. I don't know that we're going to be able to increase the warp power without it, to ever reach to the point of a containment breach that would do anything too big.
It's called arm the torpedoes, set for manual detonation, and blow the ship.
There's that. Yeah.
So the satellites themselves, they are draining your power, but it's not enough that your power reserves are going down.
Okay.
Okay, but you also it's keeping to the point where you can't gain power currently, so you're not able to get the power back.
Right.
But the ship is just sitting above you. It's not technically doing anything other than talking to you.
Right. So yeah, Corbin light maneuver is one idea. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, if we're going to do this scientific method, we're going to have to rule that out because
Yeah.
that would require us basically, I guess, using the command department, which means we'd need to come up with other options for that.
Right.
That's not really on the table anymore.
So okay, we're eliminating using shipboard weapons. There is at least. Go ahead.
The scientific method is just to find a way out of the satellites. All right.
Right.
If you're wanting to go a different route, that is completely different. That is not the scientific method at all. Okay. So think of this whole thing as like this problem situation. In order for you guys to get out of it, it is completely it's free. Like you guys can decide whatever you wish to do. You can negotiate with them, you can pay them, you can try to deceive and trick them, or you can just figure out a way to get graphs out of the satellites and go from there.
Well, if we can deal with the satellites, that gets our power back on the board. So I think that's a good thing to try anyway, and that will definitely increase our bargaining power.
Let me see if I have this right. Those tractor beam pods are what's draining our power. Tractor beam loss, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Correct me. I know he has this capability. I don't know if TOS does or TMP. But can we run a feedback pulse into that into that
into the satellite.
That's probably what the scientific method is for.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm figuring, and I'm giving you guys an option here. Sorry.
No, that's good. Yeah, run some sort of feedback loop that would fry the satellites.
Yeah, that's it.
So that's an option. We could. The satellites aren't connected with the ship, so they're obviously being controlled by the ship. We could disrupt. We could try to find a way to disrupt the communications between the mothership and the satellites, theorizing that would cause them to shut off.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we start this engineering scientific method, and then if we want to, we could start another one with Martel, like a scientific method on the security side, and then you can think of all of the trickery, because that's what commanding officers do, I guess. And the three of us will come at it from different points of view.
Well, but I mean, the part of the thing with the scientific method is that everybody throws in on whichever one.
I mean, we have a bunch of NPCs.
Right, but they're not. It's the three of us who are going to be given the ideas.
Yeah, and the feedback loop The feedback loop, I think, is more an engineering thing.
We could also try and hack and control the satellites ourselves, which could be the communications route.
Which would also be an engineering role.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we're gonna like come up with these ideas, we might as well just say we're starting the scientific method. So
Yeah, that's what I was figuring.
Okay. So department I'm assuming you're choosing is engineering.
To start with, anyway.
Okay. Who is the scientific leader on this?
I'll do that.
All right. I need you to pick between 3 to 5 focuses.
Computers, which we can use to which hacks into theirs and takes over. Want to say
Well, and it doesn't have to be. Hold on a minute. Let me finish typing it up. So we take over the control comms. We could theoretically turn the satellites against the mothership. So right now, feedback pulse to fry sats, cut off the satellite control communications, take over the satellite communications, and turn against the mothership.
Well, then let's go with our first 3 as being EPS power systems, communications systems, and computers.
Taking a threat.
And
does that mean anything to the scientific method, or
he's
yeah,
saying we're
it
taking
means none of them are right.
None of them are right.
Oh, none of them are right.
Yeah, none of them are right.
None of the ideas or none of the focuses we.
Well, we're not worried about the ideas. We're worried about the focuses, because that's what we're supplying.
Okay, so none of those are right, which included communications.
You just need to focus on the actual focuses you wish to use, and
Okay.
that will give you the general principle of what exactly you're going to be doing for the scientific
So
method.
let's say about physics. We did communications, we did EPS, and we did what was the third one on our first round?
Computers.
Okay, physics. How about tractor beam systems?
Transporters and replicators. Sorry, just popped into my head. Had a thought.
No, that's good. 2 more. Let's just go for 5 this time. We got physics, tractor beam systems, transporters, and replicators.
Deflector control systems.
Always good to feed things through the deflector dish. That always works. And 1 more. Physics, tractor beam systems, transporters and replicators, deflector control systems, maybe security systems, because that could help us hack into them.
Yeah, that.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, let's go with that.
So there you go. Prax, physics, tractor beam systems, transporters and replicators, deflector control systems, and security systems.
Taking a threat.
I guess except for the replicators. I have that as a focus, but there's no replicators yet. I don't think.
What was that, Prax?
None of them are right.
Okay.
All
right. Well, let's try sensor systems. That's
universal field theory.
Warp field dynamics.
Deflector control systems covered deflector shields too, right?
Yeah, that cast a wide net.
Sensor systems, unified field theory, warp field dynamics. Just for shits and giggles. I was going to say holographic systems, but then again, we know that they're actually draining power.
Yeah, and we wouldn't have any real solution to that. We don't have the ability to manipulate holographics on that scale.
Well, we don't, but I mean, we know we would be able to, find some theories about it. And we do have a old school holodeck on the ship, so I mean, the theories are there. But
let's go with the ones we've already thought of.
All right, so sensor systems, unified field theory, warp field dynamics. Well, he's not taking a threat or telling us to go fish.
It's still go fish. I'm getting flashbacks right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
me too.
definitely not down to repeat that experience.
I'm going to give you one more try at this. You'll have to, if you're not able to get it, then you're going to have to go a different route outside of the scientific method.
There's electromagnetics. Quantum mechanics is one we haven't tried yet. Gravity. Gravitic theory, call it, or gravity waves. Gravitic theory should.
I mean, we could do it. I don't know if unified field theory is actually useful, but that's quantum mechanics and classical mechanics together.
Well,
so
we tried UFT, but
yeah, if it's not UFT, then it's not going to be quantum mechanics or classical mechanics or relativity, because those are all subcomponents of unified field theory.
Okay, so there's gravitic theory. Okay, so we've got satellites with tractor beams. Tractor beam didn't work. Gravitic theory, communications things didn't work. Field dynamics didn't work. Sensor systems didn't work. Quantum mechanics is not going to work. We haven't tried gravitic theory. I think physics would cover astrophysics. Impulse systems? Why not? Well, if we got one more shot, let's come up with 5 and see if we can get it. Right now I've got gravitic theory and impulse systems.
I guess let's be more specific then and call out shield system.
Well, we did deflector control systems.
Deflector control and shield systems are completely different.
Okay. So right now in this new list, I've got gravitic theory, impulse systems, reverse engineering, and shield systems. So I'm looking through supporting characters for ideas. That might be it. Might just need to tune the defensive shields to take it out. Anybody got anything else?
No, I'm stuck.
Okay, and I'm gonna throw in that should say weapon systems, but I misspelled it. So we've got gravitic theory, impulse systems, reverse engineering, shield systems, and weapons systems.
It is one of these.
Okay. I'm kind of leaning towards shield systems. Like maybe what we need to do is tune the deflector shields.
Remodulate the shield frequency, yeah.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
So that I think makes it a security.
I know it's still engineering because that's what you
Still
selected.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is going to be reason plus engineering. I cannot tell you the difficulty. You'll have to roll until tell you otherwise. If it is the right one or not. So I believe you're going with shield systems first. So reason plus engineering.
Which one of you two wants to lead it?
Lazos is already leading it because that's who you
Okay.
picked for
Yeah.
lead. Anyone with a
Yeah.
engineering score 2 or higher can assist on this in terms for player characters. I will allow one supporting character to be activated, since there's only 3 of you.
No, Anders does not have a great reason. Nor does Pos.
Nor does West.
However, Mira's rolling a reason engineering of 14, which is probably the best we're going to get from the supports. It's definitely better than Haggard's. So yeah, I say we get Mira in on this.
So you're going to be using her?
Yeah.
Okay. You have
I
currently 2 momentum on the table.
Ship assisting at all?
No. Not
Okie dokie.
Can I spend 2 to Lower the difficulty by 1.
How?
Oh, so that's tied up in procedural compliance. Like, this is me getting out the manuals on how our shields work, so that I'm better prepared to work on them. Yeah, it actually gives the justification in the talent.
Keep in mind, if it's not this, the advantage will expire.
Yeah, that's fine.
So spending 2 momentum.
Yeah, because we're not going to gain any momentum, so there's really no ability for me to use deep determination, so I might as well take advantage of procedural compliance. Oh my god, the rolls are going to be awful tonight.
Just waiting on the assist. So far, I count 3.
Just needed to roll for Mira.
That was Mira. Sorry, I didn't change my name.
Oh,
Trust me, Haggard's reason's not that good.
You can. Oh, can we only be assisted by? I thought we could be assisted by all the PCs plus 1 NPC, or was it just 3 people at a time?
No. So, you have to have an engineering score 2 or higher.
I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know if Haggard had that.
Yeah, Haggard has a 3, but his reason is for crap.
So,
I mean, you're not going to hurt us.
Yeah, you can still
No
roll an
roll.
assist roll.
Okay. Oops, that's the ship.
roll a 1, Captain. You never know.
True. Total of 3.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to keep working at it. I rerolled using procedural compliance.
Here's Haggard. Here's Mira. Total of 6.
Yes. And yes, this is the correct fact. You believe that if you modified the shields, you can create a harmonic frequency that would disrupt the satellites and breaking you free from their grip. And the ship will no longer be drained of its power.
Is it possible to expand upon this idea to come up with a protection against being shot by the lightning bolt thing again?
That's unknown because you'll have to have further examination for that. Like you'll need more time to examine whatever they shot you with. And so far, the Federation has never come up with even their deals with the Tholians a way to stop their weaponry from causing the havoc they do to ship systems.
Which, I mean, this point means we've kind of like freed ourselves from not being able to move the ship at all to now, like, if we do anything, they can just take all of our power and we can't run away faster. So there's some other solution here we're going to have to work up because we've not really Like we've barely solved our problem here.
Well, it's the satellites that are draining
No,
and maintaining the
but we lost 10 power from getting shot by them. That was a separate incident. Like they shot us, zapped 10 power away, and then got the satellites in place, and the satellites are keeping us from regaining power. But the satellites didn't take the original 10 power away.
Right.
Yeah, so that's a nut that we'll have to figure that out, or we're basically not going to go anywhere.
Well, if we can keep them from draining power by modulating the shields, it may be possible that whoever's controlling them doesn't notice that. So if we can stop them from draining our power and build it back up, that puts us in a position to at least try and do something.
So not to complicate that idea, but with the shield harmonics, it would literally disable their tractor beams because they would not be able to lock on anymore.
Okay. So, and we are unable to determine a weapons battery for where that lightning blast came from.
It's very difficult because all your sensor readings gets bounced back at you.
Okay. So we need to see if we can determine where that weapons thing was, which is going to be difficult. But I'm thinking what we need to do is get ourselves in a position where we can disrupt the tractor beams and then immediately take out that weapons system.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should just work on like whatever our next step is going to be, because we don't, like, right now it would not be good for us to try to get out of the tractor beam things, because then that starts a competition between us and them, and we don't really have an answer to their abilities. So we need to figure out how we're going to deal with them before we free ourselves.
Right. Is there anything we need to do to get ready to be able to modulate the shields? Do we need to run any simulations or anything like that?
No.
Okay. So let's see, Mr. Martell, if you and Mr. Chitre working together maybe, and perhaps with the sensor records from when they shot us to help narrow things down, maybe you guys can figure out what weapons ports we need to be dealing with, or failing that, if there seems to be somewhere we could hit them that would knock out their power.
I'll see what I can find, sir, but I'm not going to guarantee anything.
So what do we need to do to see if we can't figure out where the Tholian style weapons port is?
Give me reason plus science assisted by these ships, sensors plus science, difficulty of 4.
Difficulty 4. Okay, that's gonna be Chitre's rolling a 17. Do you, Martel or Lazos, have better?
What's the stat again?
Reason science.
Yeah, I have a 14.
Okay.
I got a 12.
Okay. So Chitre will spend his determination on the value the ship's sensors are my eyes, or science reveals the truth.
I'll take the second one.
Okay. Sensor operations as a focus.
Yeah.
And let's see. It does have a dedicated focus there.
And I'm guessing I get to assist since I was basically requested by the captain to help him do this.
Sure.
Hold on, I'm
Okay.
flipping through the damn core book. That doesn't help. I don't think any of his focuses except dedicated focus helps. And let me double check. So yeah, dedicated focus. When attempting a task where that focus applies, each d20 that generates 2 successes also generates 1 bonus momentum. Only applies to d20s in the dice pool and does not apply to d20s due to equipment, starship assistance, or character assistance. So, but it doesn't say it won't apply to determination. So there's an extra momentum. Let's see. So he will give you 5 threat for 4 dice. So already got 2 on the table. So that's 7 and 2 bonus momentum generated.
I need sensors and then the assist.
Sensors, science. There's 9.
And the assist from Martel with reason engineer or reason science. Did we lose Martel? So far, 5 momentum has been gained.
Plus 2 bonus.
Yes, that can only be used for extra questions.
Right.
Captain, the hull of the vessel seems to be made out of kelbonite. It is difficult to locate any weapons ports. However, the ship is very fragile to photon torpedoes. Or any kinetic.
Well, I find that very interesting. And actually, it doesn't say that the dedicated focus only goes to questions. It just says bonus momentum.
Yes, bonus momentum, but it's the issue is you could use it for other questions. It just goes away after the task ends.
Right, right.
Yeah, you could create an advantage or something with it though, but you just have to spend it right then.
Right. So yeah, which was what I was wanting to do with it, is to create an advantage. Basically, can we do something where either Chitray's scans will have the if when we make our next move, we'll have the scan for weaknesses effect, since that's pretty much what he found. Like, I know we're outside of combat, but that the advantage will be that we'll get that bonus that you usually get in combat for scan for weaknesses when we move against the enemy ship.
Sure.
Everybody like that?
Yeah, it sounds good.
Okay. So we gained a total of how many momentum?
5.
Okay. Martel, did you ever roll your assist?
He did not. Total of 6 momentum.
Okay, so we are capped. I'd like to spend one of those though to have an extra question for Chatre. Does the when he said fragile, do we need to be careful using photon torpedoes not to just absolutely blow this ship to bits if we don't want to kill everybody on board necessarily?
So, game mechanic wise, is the ship has a lower resistance rating than what it would appear to be due to its scale.
Okay. Okay, so gotcha. To kinetics or photon torpedoes.
Meaning it's not like, yes. The downside of this is that I'll give you this part of the question is if you use phasers, the energy dispersion will be bounced back at your ship.
Kelvinite. And they do have shields.
To a degree.
So shields, but not a lot of shields. Okay, so it means we're going to be giving you a bunch of threat. We could always just try to ram them. It's a popular maneuver with at least one of our players. He's just going to let it slide. Okay.
I was away from the keyboard, but no, it's like it's more effective than you think. People like to down talk it, but we get 2 more challenge dice than they do, and our ship is better prepared to take. And as long as you're doing it against an NPC ship, it's a good idea. If you're doing it against a player ship, it's a stupid idea, but against an NPC ship, it's pretty effective.
We'll keep it in our back pocket because even with the advantages, I know we take a hefty amount of damage.
Yeah. So the like you in this case, you'd only want to do it if you're just completely set against giving the GM threat, which I don't know. Like, it'd definitely be more effective to just shoot torpedoes.
Yeah, which is going to require us dumping a bunch of threat on the GM anyway.
I don't think it'll require that much.
Well, not a bunch, but yeah.
It'll probably only require 4 or 5 or so.
All right. Mr. Martel, make sure all torpedo tubes are loaded. Be ready for a full spread maximum yield strike.
Understood, sir.
So keep in mind, we're going in. If you're going to initiate combat, you're going straight into combat rounds. So
yeah. So what we want to do, we want to use the shield thingy,
right.
And then we want to try to get power back. And then we just kind of wait for them to initiate combat.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm just having Martel get ready. So what do you think? Shield thing, try and get some distance and then regain power, or shield thing, I don't really want to stay still. But anything I tell Wes to do, like evasive maneuvers, is going to put us in that we're going to have to spend power.
Yeah, no, let's get power and then wait for them, because they're probably going to try to zap us for power. So we should, like, I think we do one of two things. Either we build up power and we try to shoot them as soon as we get a decent, like we get more than 10 power, or we just try to build up as much power as possible and wait for them to initiate combat.
So you're saying sit still and try and raise power?
Yeah. Because we're basically going to be needing every power we have to fire the weapons and not
Well, we're not going to be
die.
firing phasers. Photon torpedoes don't cost power to fire. Phasers, we're going to get, or with Kelvinite, they're going to get reflected directly back at us. So we're not getting into a phaser fight.
Okay, yeah.
But
My
I'm just
bad.
saying,
Like, we'll still need the power for shield regen, and we kind of have to play like we're only gonna have like 4 power available.
right. I'm just
So
saying, if we have West put us into evasive maneuvers, that would cost us 1 power, but it would also make us harder to hit.
you're gonna give the GM so much threat that you just gotta assume everything's gonna hit you. Like, it makes you harder to hit by 1 dice, by
Right.
1 success, and you're gonna give the GM enough to roll. Like, I wouldn't worry about it.
Well, but we're not going to be giving him threat until we fire, and we won't, if we break away from the tractor beams, go into evasive maneuvers, and then we're going to try and wait and build up power and make them make the next move. His first shot, he's not going to have any more threat than he has now.
Which is almost 10, or right around 10. So
I
he
have
doesn't need
12 threat.
Right.
Yeah. So, like, I honestly think if we're gonna get hit, we're gonna get hit. So let's not waste the power, because that's like a fourth of our entire power.
I don't know. I just don't like sitting still and being a sitting duck.
I mean, we're not a sitting duck though. Like, if you want to, the most effective thing to protect us would be shield remodulation, the actual task for that, which would make their weapons kind of meaningless against us, as long as they didn't like they don't do damage to our shields. Like, that adds resistance. Resistance is a much more effective way, I think, of countering than upping the difficulty.
Right, but if we're having to modulate the shields to a certain frequency to get away from the tractor beams, modulating them again, might that not, if we don't move, might that not put us right back in the same situation? And it also has a power requirement of 1.
Yeah, but it's like a power. So we spend 1 power and we move, but we've just increased the difficulty to hit us by 1. The GMs can just buy 1 dice, and it's probably going to give enough successes to hit us, or they buy 2 dice. But if we modulate the shields, we can spend that power and we can get an insane amount of resistance. Like, we could double or more than double our resistance. And
That's
it's unlikely they're going to get around that. And even if they do get around it, they're only going to do a couple of points of damage to our shields. We're not going to take a breach from that.
works for me if it works for you guys. Yeah, Wes doesn't have, she doesn't have that talent that lets you make it more difficult. So, okay. Photon torpedoes locked. Let's get rid of these satellites, Commander Lazos.
Okay, so we're going to combat. So to do the one plan, which is going to cost you 1 power, is going to be a control plus engineering assisted by the ship structure plus engineering. And the reason why this is slightly different is because this is more of an advantage type deal. So difficulty of 2.
And it's costing a power.
Yes, because you're doing something else differently besides just kind of remodulating the shields. You're
Okay.
creating more of a harmonic frequency to cause the satellites to lose their lock on the ship, and
And
thus
what?
freeing you from the actual those tractor beams.
All right.
So, what's the task again?
Control plus engineering assisted by the ship's structure plus engineering. Difficulty of 2.
All right. Um, since this is pushing the shields beyond their normal usage, can I justify a determination spin on I can go past the red line, but only for the captain? Since the captain's asking me to do this, and it's kind of pushing the shields past what we normally use them for.
Sure.
Then instead, I'll spend 3 momentum, gain a determination, because we're going to need all the help we can get in power generation.
Down to 2
Eh.
momentum.
I'm going to spend 1 of that for third dice.
Okay.
EPS power
So
systems.
with that, we're only going to get +1 resistance when we do the thing,
You're
unless
not
you're
going to
in a...
get resistance out of this.
Oh,
No,
no,
no.
that would be a separate roll.
Right, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
No, like the next thing we're gonna do is power generation, and I'm probably gonna spend a determination to do that. So hopefully we can gain some momentum there.
Right.
And then I'm probably gonna need to do that again on the shield modulation thing. Or the
Well,
shield modulation thing might be a security roll.
That's a security roll, actually.
Yeah,
Martel would
keep
have
in mind we're also going into combat rounds. So what will need to happen is you'll need to generate enough momentum where we can either pay to keep the initiative, or it'll need to go to Haggard next, so I can direct you to do the next thing.
Yeah, this isn't in combat rounds though, so I'll still have 1 turn.
No,
to
this
do
is
the
combat.
power. We're in combat now. This is
We're-
starting combat.
This is starting combat. You start the roll, it starts the combat round. So this is going to be the first roll for combat because you're deactivating. You're essentially breaking yourself free from the satellites. If you wish to do a secondary task, you could do a swift task and then do a power management, which will increase the difficulty by 1.
Or if you gain us at least 1 more momentum, we can pay to keep the initiative for a round.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens.
Ship structure plus engineering. You get a momentum. You break free from the satellites as you essentially create a harmonic field that disrupts their beam, and the ship is currently free. And the satellites are not able to lock back on.
What's the role for power management task?
Power management is daring or control or daring engineering difficulty 2. In which case, if you're doing a swift task, it'll be difficulty 3.
Or we could do, well, he'd have to do an override, so it'd be 6 of one or 7 of the other.
And what is that? That's gain. Is that gain 1 power
1
and 1 for
power.
a moment? Yeah.
One power plus additional for momentum. So honestly, we're probably better to spend it to keep the initiative and then fire torpedoes.
You could also use your determination to do a swift task. You just decide a value.
Oh, instead of spending 2 momentum, you can do
Yes.
that?
Yes, you can.
And then we would be able to get
Okay, then
3 power with the momentum spins.
then I'll do a swift task with determination
What value?
on so there's a right way and a wrong way, and I do things the right way. Since we're about to get into a firefight, instead of um like instead of having security just start, firing the weapons, I'm kind of using the engineering department to build up power because I know we're going to need that for the fight. So, like, I'm trying to, I don't know, because that's more of a play. That's what the player's doing. That's not what the. Let me think.
I go
What's
past the red line, but only for the captain, and the captain's giving the order, hey, we're gonna break free from this. We need to get power back right away, and you're literally pushing the ship really hard in a matter of a few seconds.
okay?
Nice.
Yeah.
Difficulty 3 to do power management, control, or daring engineering.
APS power systems.
Yes. One momentum is
I
being
I
gained.
should. Well, that was. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, if you're wanting to, are you spending another determination on the roll because the
Um,
the
I was planning on doing that, but I did not like.
yeah,
It didn't occur to me that I needed to tell you that again. Like
yes.
I was getting ahead of myself, so I
Does the
guess
ship
the answer
assist
is
with
no.
that?
No. So
Okay.
you get one power back. You have one momentum.
Total of 3 momentum.
They didn't spend their determination on the roll. They
No,
spent it
but
on
we already had two.
Yeah, he used determination for the swift task.
yes, but you didn't use it for the actual roll.
Yeah,
The
Right.
task roll.
yeah,
Yeah,
But
we
we
would
already
have.
have
had
2.
Yes, you already had 2, so you're at 3.
So for each one of those you spend, you get +1 power back.
Yes. So you regain the power that you lost currently through the
Right, we're
modulate.
at 4. So do you want to spend any of the momentum?
We should be at 5.
No, we lost 1 because the modulating the shields task cost us a point of
Oh,
power.
okay.
So
I thought that was just the actual to gain resistance, not that special thing.
No, the special modulation we were doing cost us power because we were doing something weird. So we're at 4. Do you want to spend any of the momentum? If we want to maintain the initiative, we'll need at least 2. Well, we'll need 2.
Yeah, this is really a mistake on my part by not calling that determination thing out. I guess. I don't know. I'll leave it up to you. Basically, the 3. I don't see having anything less than 11 power is kind of just putting us in territory of being one shot by them. So I don't really have an answer to what we should do.
Okay.
I guess we should just shoot them with torpedoes because if at this point since I failed to do that, we're kind of SOL.
Okay.
So we should. I guess we could spend one. Like it wouldn't hurt.
Okay, so
but-
we'll spend 1 to get us up to 5. Then I'll spend 2 more to keep the initiative.
Okay, who's going?
Okay. I think Haggard will take it, and he will direct Martel to fire the torpedoes full spread. Can I spend a
Keep
determination
it. You cannot.
on a
so-
direct task?
No.
Okay.
Keep
in mind what?
Keep in mind they're in close range, so the difficulty is 6.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Why couldn't he direct him to fire torpedoes?
He can, but the difficulty to hit them is 6.
Oh, well, I guess in that case, you could direct me to get more power.
It doesn't help us. Eventually, we're going to have to fire torpedoes. We need to move to long range. So what we need to do, I need to get West to move us to long range.
Maybe, since we're not gonna shoot. We only have 3 turns, I guess. So why don't you direct Martel? Since Martel's not going to be able to shoot this go around, direct Martel to modulate the shield so that we can take a hit, and then have West move us away. And then
keep in mind that without any momentum, we're only going to get 1 resistance. So it's not really going to make that big of a difference. So I think our thing here.
Well, if you direct him, you're going to be rolling 3 dice, and he can make the decision to roll threat or roll with a determination.
I'm thinking we need to get to long range. So let's do that.
So you're going to direct West to impulse to long range.
Right, which will bring us back down to 4 power.
Yes, that is control plus con, difficulty 0, assisted by the ship's engines plus con.
So this is going to gain us some momentum, which is good. Control con, difficulty 0. She's just going to roll it flat. There's 2 for Katie. The ship's engines con.
Yes. Keep in mind, she had untapped potential, but you get 2 momentum out of that.
And then
Ship
Haggard
moves to long range.
Remember, it was a direct, so Haggard assists with
Yes.
presence
command. So 3 momentum. Do you wish to do a swift task, or do you wish to yield to them?
Swift task has to be done by the character whose turn it is.
Yes. So you could perform a swift task.
You have crisis management, or was that your only direct?
No, I have crisis management. I'm just trying to figure out if I fire torpedoes, it's going to be an override with a swift task, which will put the difficulty at 4.
It'll be 4
right?
no matter what.
Well,
Actually,
yeah,
it'll be
because
5. It will be 5 if you do it. It'll be 4 if Martel does it.
it still goes up 1 for Martel because it's technically still your turn. So this still gets the swift task penalty. So it would be 3 from long range plus 1 for swift task.
I thought long range was the torpedo's optimum.
It's at base 3.
Okay. But I think to do a swift task, I'm the one who has to do it. I can't. Well, I could swift task and direct Martel.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'll do. I'll spend 2 for a swift task and direct Martel to fire torpedoes.
Okay. This will be control plus security. Are you doing full salvo?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm taking 3 threat.
Right.
Yes.
It is control plus security, difficulty of 4, assisted by the ship's weapons plus security.
and you get an assist from the captain.
Oh,
And we have 1 momentum.
okay. As well. Because I don't have any focuses for this yet.
So, what are you rolling?
Oh,
3 threat? That was
that was 1 momentum, 2 threat.
okay. You cut out there. That's why I asked.
Okay, and then here's the ship, weapons, security. Oh, this is probably gonna suck. Martel, at this point, I'd use your determination to reroll if you've got a value you can use.
Directive. Or the nothing is impossible value.
I'll take that. So you're rerolling 2.
Yeah.
And our difficulty's at 5.
4.
4.
Okay. Haggard will spend his determination on to reroll his presence as
You can't reroll assist.
You can do that?
No, you
no, I
cannot.
thought since it was a direct task that I
No,
could.
It doesn't work
Uh,
that way.
However,
You could give him his. You could
that's
give him his
that's what I'm going to
determination.
use the captain's superpower, and give you a determination.
Roll veteran.
Actually, I need to roll veteran too, because I have that.
Okay, before you give him his.
He gets it back.
Gets it back. Do you wish to reroll the 0?
Why not? I might just get lucky.
And
Roll
indeed you
veteran
do.
again.
Ah.
Roll the ship's photon torpedo damage, please.
Alrighty. Photon torpedoes away! That's not great.
That doesn't
Although,
look great.
well, we only have a 2 security, so
It's
it
3,
should only be
so
5.
should be 5. Okay. But it's spread, so you get 1 extra challenge dice. So roll 1 more challenge dice. Or sorry, salvo.
Okay, and we also, for every effect roll, for the advantage we made, we get piercing 2.
Piercing. Is it 2?
Uh,
Oh, wow.
Scan for weakness.
Yeah, it might be.
Gains piercing 2 quality for every effect, per effect. So 6 piercing, total of 5.
Oh, if
4.
you did scan for weakness, you get extra dice for each momentum you spent, didn't you?
Yes.
So he spent 1 momentum.
Gets.
So there should be 1 more challenge dice.
It's more. It's also.
It's.
No, I thought it was just either momentum or threat. Double checking.
Oh no, I think it's just momentum.
Further, if any bonus d20s are
Oh,
purchased for that
yes.
next attack, it inflicts +1
So that would be
damage
2.
for
So
each.
yeah, roll 2 more extra challenge dice.
Not rolling great tonight.
That
So
is
that's
5.
5 with 6 piercing.
Ugh.
That should do it.
It is 2 breaches. Calculating it's half damage round up for the spread. So it's additional 3.
With 4 piercing still.
Yeah. That goes completely through as it is. Okay. It's total of technically 2 breaches still.
Yeah, we should have done damage to their shields on the other ones, but not gotten breaches from that.
Turn passes to them. Good God, these guys suck. Keeping the initiative here, but you notice on the view screen they fire in all random directions these bright, essentially shaft, causing explosion in your view screen. Everything turns white, deadening your sensors.
Say that again, GM. Sorry, my wife was speaking to me.
They fire essentially shaft, like as stuff spells out, it's just white. You just see explosions, and it
Right.
blinds your sensors, and your view screen turns white.
Okay. You said they were keeping the initiative.
Yes. Golf clap for these guys. Good job. It's like,
Yeah, they
that's
just kicked our
8.
ass.
8. Combat is over. As your view screen clears up, they are gone.
Well, not exactly covering ourselves in glory, but any battle that you can walk away from, I suppose. Mr. Chitre, keep a sharp eye on sensors. Mr. Martel, let's keep torpedoes loaded for the moment. Stay at red alert. Haggard to Lazos.
Lazos here.
Get us back up to full power as quickly as you can, Commander, and we'll get back on the road, as it were. New scene. We got all the power. So yeah, back into warp for back on our previous course, Lieutenant West.
Yes, Captain. And the Argo goes to warp.
Well, Commander Lazos, if you think the engines are in a state to take it, I don't see any reason not to do our Warp 14 run and test out your warp coil coatings.
I would prefer to have at least one shift of all clear before we engage in any experimental activities.
Understood. Mr. Trey, anything on sensors?
Our sensors are still a little spotty, Captain. It was reduced due to whatever they used to blind us briefly. But I do not detect them on our sensor range currently.
Once the sensors clear, Mr. Martell, and show clear, we'll secure from red alert.
Understood, sir.
Estro kind of looks at you. Is it always this exciting, Captain?
Sometimes. Most days, not so much. I don't know who those people were, but something tells me they weren't as high and mighty as they might like to pretend to be. And by the time our sensors will clear, they'll be long gone. Hopefully the rest of your trip home won't be nearly so interesting.
I certainly hope so. In any case, the evening meal was quite interesting, Captain. Thank you.
Glad you enjoyed it.
I will be returning to my quarters.
Of course. And Haggard will stay on the bridge until the sensors clear and make sure we show no pursuers before. Because I'm assuming it's definitely after Alpha Shift.
Oh yeah. But guys, go on patrol. Your warp, like West kind of warped you back towards more safe
Right.
harbors at warp maximum warp. And by the time the sensors kind of clear out, like Chitray's like, Captain, there's nothing on our sensor range.
Excellent. Mr. Martell, secure for red alert. Alpha Shift.
Standing down, sir.
Alpha Shift, let's get some rest. Be Beta Shift, I guess.
Probably.
Beta Shift, report to the bridge.
Is there anything anybody wishes to do in their after hours before we end the session today?
I'll report this Galactic Union or whatever ship encounter to Starfleet Command and note the area, but that's about it.
Okay. Get a lot of reports like they've never heard of it.
Right.
So
well, yeah, and I'll tell them I think it was more of a pirate who'd got himself a hold of a little bit of impressive technology, but not anything, as big as he was trying to be.
I'll try to use some Vulcan meditation, like I guess tips or tricks. I don't know what the right word is. Like from reading books, I'll try some of their meditation techniques. That's the word I was looking for. Techniques. And just reflect on the vision.
So you head back to your quarters, you light a candle, and you sit and meditate, trying to focus on the vision that you had.
Yes.
Give me fitness plus medicine difficulty 2.
Uh-oh.
Can I argue for a reduced difficulty since I'm trying to like take some precautions here with the Vulcan stuff?
Um,
Like I'm not just jumping into this like haphazardly.
control plus command difficulty 2 to create that advantage.
Uh,
Unless you wish to
yeah,
spend a
like
determination.
I'll spend a determination because literally my control command is the same thing as my fitness medicine, so it didn't really it wouldn't have changed anything. Yeah, so I'll just spend a determination.
On what value?
There's a right way and a wrong way, and I do things the right way. That's me setting things. That's me trying to take like a measured approach, like reading up on what the Vulcans do before just like jumping into crazy stuff.
Okay. You've taken every precaution you can think of by reading the book. Setting things up, even is to go so far as to try and create a relaxing atmosphere for intense, deep meditation to focus on this. Fitness medicine difficulty of 1.
It is still a pretty bad roll, so um, I take a threat. Oh my god. 1 second. I'm gonna use. Can I Is it possible to spend a determination on the same value again, or or does that value not work? Like, do I need a different explanation?
You're gonna probably need a different explanation. Keep in mind you never wrote in a value for the new talent you took in that was free.
Oh, I didn't. For some reason I forgot. I thought it. I didn't. Yeah, I didn't do that. Can I write that in now, or do I need to
Yes,
wait?
I will allow that.
Since will you accept the value of I must save the Argo, since I'm trying to see how it's destroyed? Because that's what the vision was.
Among other things. That's the one that stuck out in your mind the most. There were other visions you had. You were playing through in your mind multiple events. Some contradict other ones. It's almost like you're peering in a veil like of multiple timelines in a way.
I'll try to focus on the ones that don't destroy the Argo, though, so I can figure out how to do that instead. So can I spend determination on that to reroll the 3 zeros?
Sure.
That's technically it. That succeeds, I guess.
It does.
Oh my god, so much determination.
You realize as you're peering through and going through the playback of the vision that you have, you realize that the stardate is almost in the near future of the Argo. In a place where you've never really been or really seen on local star charts.
Say that again.
I'm trying to give you like a reference point. You're not entirely sure what to make of in terms of the actual location of where the Argo is going to be destroyed. But you do get an idea of when, and you realize it's a few months from now, potentially, according to the stardate that you view when you're looking back on the console as you're replaying it in your mind.
Like, am I just like seeing like images, or do I feel like I can like direct the
You're
vision?
seeing images. You realize that you're not able to direct the vision.
Is it possible to try to focus on a different thing then? Like try to focus on
Fitness medicine difficulty of 1
to do what?
to try and redirect the vision.
Okay. I guess take a threat because I'm all out of determination. Oh.
Get a momentum, there's a complication.
I can't really do anything about that.
Take 3 stress as you're trying to navigate through these visions, and you peer into one that you're unsure of. It is beyond the destruction of the Argo. You find yourself alone on a planet, peering out into a field or into an ocean. You see escape pods and debris raining from the sky.
Does the plant life look familiar or does it look alien?
It looks somewhat familiar yet also alien at the same time. The water is not a blue, it is more of a purplish color.
Is it night or day?
It appears to be day, yet it also appears to be night.
Then I try to focus on the constellations in the sky and see if I can figure out where we are, or at least like what part of the galaxy we're in. I mean, I may not be able to get a planet, but I might be able to narrow it down to a sector or at least a quadrant, if I can see the stars. That is.
Reason plus con difficulty of 3. And I'm going to make the complication range 3 as well.
I mean, my reason con is decent, but I've got no focus. Would it be possible to argue Starfleet protocol, since this is kind of like a basic skill that everyone would be taught?
No, this is more like astronavigation.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just try rolling with take 3 threat. Oh wait, we don't have momentum. We should have 1 momentum, because
Yes, there is 1 momentum.
yeah. Then I'll take 1 momentum and 2 threat.
Two momentum gained. You realize you recognize a few of the constellations, and it is somewhere in the Alpha Quadrant.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but Cardassia is firmly in the beta, aren't they? Oh no, they're in the other side.
They're in the Alpha.
They're in the Alpha. So this would kind of rule out being along the Klingon or Romulan borders, or in Klingon or Romulan space. The only known governments that I know that exist in the Alpha are the Federation, whatever the Cardassians are. We don't know about the Ferengi.
No, you don't know about the Ferengi. You do know about the Tholians. The Tholians are in the Alpha Quadrant, the Cardassians, and the Zenkethi.
We've already met the Zenkethi.
Yes, you've already met the Zenkethi.
Are there any ships in the atmosphere?
No, you see debris falling from the essentially skyline, and like your essentially escape pod is essentially lodged within the sand and somewhat in the water.
Is there anyone in it with me, or who is nearby?
There are people kind of you do notice like there are people that have been dragged out of the escape pod, and there's some that are lying in the sand, and some are tending to wounded.
Are they all engineers? Or are they from the bridge?
They're all engineers.
So, like, it's likely to assume that whenever this happened, I was in engineering and not on the bridge.
Correct.
I can't think of any more information I'd be able to gain, because it's basically like I'm looking at a painting. I can't, like, interact with it or change anything that's there. I can only
Yes.
kind of ask about questions about what's in the painting.
Yeah,
I don't really.
you're essentially interpreting the painting or the vision in this case.
Do I see any large sections of hull, or is it basically like, nothing larger than, 10 or 20 meters?
It's really far in the distance. Like you're seeing the fire trails. Looks almost like meteorites in a way.
Yeah, but there's nothing like half a ship falling.
Yeah, you don't see a half a ship falling.
Any weapons fire in the falling, or is it just like I'm kind of trying to eliminate the possibility that someone is like still firing on it or following it down.
You don't see any weapons fire.
Anything that would indicate civilization?
Not that you can tell, but gave me fitness medicine difficulty of 3.
Oh, I gained a bunch of momentum off that, so this is not so bad.
2 momentum. You have 2 momentum on the table currently.
Take that and a threat. Yeah. I guess I could sacrifice if I explain why it is the way it is, anyone would agree with me, since I would kind of be giving up on the idea that I could reasonably explain what I'm seeing to anyone.
No, if you're trying to spend get a determination spend.
Okay. Yeah, then that's pretty much all I'd have, so that's a failure. There's nothing I can do about that. That was my only shot, I think.
For the complication, this will be vicious. 2 stress, and the vision starts to fade.
I get.
I'm gonna spend a
Yeah.
thread and reroll 2. 4 stress taken. Total. So
Yeah, I'm just gonna come out of it then.
you have a 1 wicked headache.
Like, if I look in my memory, can I like still see kind of the image? Like, I can't like go look at something else. I can't try to focus on another time and find something. But can I look at things? Can I kind of like remember what things I've already seen looked like?
Kinda. It will be fuzzy for you to recall the information.
Then I'm gonna try to work with some kind of program on the ship's computer to render that into like an actual painting.
Trying to think if the ship's computer even has that capability in this point in time frame.
Well, like basically it would be like using like paint but like or like Photoshop but like a several hundred years more advanced version, like where you could tell the computer basic ideas or something and it could render them. I mean, if we have a holodeck, I mean, I know TNG is still a little bit advanced, but in TNG they could just have the computer create an artist that could render it. So I'm assuming we're partially the way to, like, I couldn't go on the holodeck and have that done, but the computer could probably do it.
Give me Insight Con difficulty 2.
Guess take a threat.
Gain a momentum. And you have a essentially image created that is of near accuracy. You know, not exactly what you remember, but it's definitely close enough to what you're describing. The computer's having a hard time finding fauna and certain plant life that matches your description.
Yeah, I'll just hang that on the wall and hope that I guess no one ever sees it because that's kind of a weird thing to have hanging on the wall.
All right. Martel, is there anything you wish to do? Captain, is there anything else you wish to do before we close out today's session?
I believe I am good for tonight.
All right. And with that, we will end Troll Bridge.
Yay!